Until the lion tells the tale, the hunt will always glorify the hunter. I think about that quote a lot when I visit a bookstore, watch a movie, look at a magazine, or listen to a talk. What I've come to realize is that not everyone's story is told. Throughout history, not everyone has been given a chance to talk about who they are, where they're from, or tell their story. Either from not having economic access, racism, sexism, or class barriers, many people are not heard. Because of this, an incomplete history has been written. Growing up, I was a huge reader, and I don't remember any stories that reflected my life. There weren't any TV shows that looked like me or lived how I lived. If you didn't know any better, you would think that folks like myself didn't exist. When we don't see ourselves in the media, arts, or everyday life, that sends a message that we don't matter, and what we have experienced doesn't matter. Nobel Prize winner and author Toni Morrison once said, "If there's a book you want to read but hasn't been written yet, you must write it." So I did what any shy, slightly nerdy kid who wanted to be seen would do. I began writing. When I started writing and talking about who I was, it was so freeing, so powerful. It felt like I climbed to the mountaintop and yelled, "Here I am!" I was putting my flag up and making people aware of my life. I then realized I have to encourage others who are not seen and heard to do so. Representation is powerful. It's incredibly impactful. When you see someone that looks like you, comes from a place like you, and talks like you, that can have a profound effect on you. I remember when I received an email about an essay I wrote from this guy. He said, reading about my experience as a black man touched him and made him feel seen. My story made him feel validated, like he was not alone. I realized that that was not an isolated incident. From there, I understood the power of sharing my story. Dictionary.com defines innovation as something new or different introduced. And I cannot think of anything more innovative than giving everyone a chance, a place, or a platform in which to share their story. When you share your story, a domino effect starts. A new perspective gets out, which shows a different point of view, which shows another side of life, which allows a new voice to be heard. It builds up on each other and keeps going and going until, boom, the whole world looks different. This is real diversity, real equity, not just showing up and being a number that fills a quota. When everyone has a say, everyone has power. Now, as someone who loves learning about different things, and I reckon I'm not the only one here, hearing a new perspective can enhance our lives. Think about what it's like to hear from people that immigrated to this country that didn't come through Ellis Island. The lives of black trans folks, women coal miners in Kentucky, the challenges of people being released from prison from their point of view. Another facet of innovation is that when everyone is heard, new ideas and concepts are born. Ignorance fades away, and understanding appears in its place. Telling your story can change the world. Don't believe me? Okay. Think about how life would be if 5 young guys from Liverpool didn't get together and talk about their experiences. Or if another Fab Five, Cube, Dre, Easy, Yellin, Ren, straight out of Compton, didn't talk about police brutality where they're from. What would our experiences be like if a young Cesar Chavez didn't rise up from Yuma, Arizona, and talk about the Latino farm worker movement? How would we view the personal horror of the Holocaust if Anne Frank didn't write her diary and we didn't get a chance to read it? What would music today be like if folks from the Shoals didn't get down and let themselves be heard? Would musicians and bands play with that same soul they have today? Or for me personally, if El Haj Malik El Shabazz didn't sit down with Alex Haley and write the autobiography of Malcolm X, the most influential book I've ever read. In the year 2020, there are more ways to tell your story besides writing a book. There's social media. Post about yourself on Facebook, talk about who you are on LinkedIn, tell people about yourself on Twitter, and shoot a short video on Instagram. There are more than 244 million people in the United States that use social media. And by 2023, that number can be up to 257 million. You can start a podcast. There are over 750,000 shows out there. There's vlogs on YouTube, virtual reality, and augmented reality. The point is, there are more ways to put your stamp down and let people know you are here. Right now, there are about 7.7 billion people on this planet. This world is a multicultural place made up of different people, places, and events. So much is going on, and it's not being talked about. Think about if everybody got a chance to talk about who they are. 2 years ago, I was invited to appear at the first TEDxWilsonPark. Giving a TED Talk was one of my life's biggest goals. I remember when I heard Sir Ken Robinson talk about education. When he said, we need an education revolution and not an evolution, that just blew me away. I was like, wow. I remember when I was talking to my lovely speech coach, Mary Marshall, and I was on the phone with her. I was like, Mary Marshall, is this really happening? Am I really going to give a TEDx? She's like, yes, LeRon, this is really happening. You're really going to give a TEDx. I can't do her accent very well, but it's all good. When I came to dress rehearsal and I saw the TEDx sign, I was like, wow, it was just so big. That's when I really knew it got real. You know, here I am, a man from Southside Kansas City, 63rd Street, with a stutter on stage telling my story. 2 years later, I'm back on this stage, back on the red dot, encouraging you to tell your story. Isn't it beautiful how life just comes full circle, right? I teach a creative writing class at the San Francisco County Jail. People have a view of folks locked up as not smart, evil, angry, and lazy. But I can tell you firsthand that is not correct. The men I listen to and work with are smart, very talented, and have something to say. The main thing that I drive home to my students is this: your story matters, and you need to be the one telling it. Because if you don't, it won't be told. Or even worse, it won't be told the right way. In 2017, while I was in New York, I got a chance to see the Tony Award-winning Broadway musical Dear Evan Hansen. In the show, there was these lines that hit home. And don't worry, I'm not going to try to sing them. No one deserves to be forgotten. No one deserves to fade away. No one should come and go and have no one know he was ever even here. No one deserves to disappear. If you don't tell your story, you don't exist. It doesn't matter where you're from, how much money you have, or where you went to school. We all need to be heard. So put the pen to the pad, grab that microphone, turn on that camera, and go. Thank you.